let's get into this. Let's pack our bags for another travel size segment of the 52. This time we're going to travel to Thursdays, must-see TV, NBC. Primetime TV. I used to love primetime TV as a kid, man. You come home from school, you get all cleaned up, you get ready because you're going to watch all the Thursday lineup. Just like TGI Friday, right? Was it TGI Friday? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this one, for me, was Thursday because I liked NBC. And, for me, it was, I watched, TV all the damn time. But in '79, NBC had fell in the rankings. They fell in third place behind CBS, ABC. They fell behind. And 1981 was at their lowest point. And at the time, they only had one show that was particularly decent, which was Different Strokes. Different Strokes, of course, great show. It had a lot of topics, a lot of hard topics. I think there was abuse, and just adoption, things of that nature. It was hard hitting. I love that show. But that's all they had. NBC, that's all they had at the time was Different Strokes. And so in 81, 89, 82, they got new management and they started putting some new shows together. So they put together Harper Valley, Different Strokes, and then a show called Lewis and Clark, which got canceled because that was heinous, I guess. And then they had a new up-and-comer. It was Give Me a Break. And Give Me a Break was... had a sassy housekeeper, and she was a housekeeper nanny, I guess.
Yeah.
What was her name? Nell Carter, right? You said Nell Carter. Yeah, she was great, man. It was good to see primetime TV. You saw somebody that looked different. It wasn't your typical show. It was different. She had a different flavor to her, and I liked it. It was a great show. I liked it. Funny. It was a dad. I can't remember who the dad was. Was it just a dad and his kids or something like that? I can't remember. So. Anyway, I loved Give Me a Break. Nell Carter was funny. It was just, like I said, you see the reruns on Tubi and stuff and whatnot. Anyway, so they had those. Again, that Lois and Clark show got canceled after a while. It didn't work out. And then in 82, 83, they wanted to start branding NBC like heavy. Like they wanted to start standing out and have a brand and have, slogans and whatnot. So they went for the branding on Thursday nights, and they had a lineup of Fame, Hill Street Blues, Taxi, and Cheers. And it was quite a mouthful with the slogan. The slogan was America's Best Night of Television on Television. That's a mouthful. That's a lot. So that wasn't too catchy. But they did have Cheers. That was Cheers' first season. That was the first season. Didn't do too hot. And Taxi and Fame were canceled after a couple seasons. Didn't do too good. I love Taxi. We had a lot of stars in that thing. We had tons of stars. Danny DeVito. What was that? Judd Hirsch, Kaniki was on there. Tony
Danza. People talk about that show. You feel like it was around for like
forever.
Ever.
It wasn't. They only had a few seasons, not too many.
Weird.
Tony Danza and I always forget her name. The redhead. What's her name? Oh God, I always forget her name.
Mario.
Nardo was her name on the show. Nardo, and man, they had a ton of stars on that show, man. And then of course, what's his name? Latka Gravis, which was. My God, I'm drawing blanks around everybody. I need to take my medicine there. I can't remember nobody's name. Anyway,
Mary Lou Henner.
Mary Lou Henner was awesome.
And Andy
Kaufman.
Christopher Lloyd too.
Christopher
also.
Lloyd, yeah, fucking the professor. Doc. I'm striking out today. It's a little long day. Anyway, so yeah, America's Best Night of Television on Television. Long slogan, didn't work. Anyway, Fame and Taxi were canceled. They brought back Cheers, and along with Cheers, they brought in Family Ties. Hated Family Ties. I couldn't stand Family Ties. I like Michael J. Fox, but I didn't like Family Ties.
Oh, I didn't like any of the characters.
I didn't like any. The dad was terrible. Mm-hmm. Dad was like, I don't know. I just didn't care for the dad. The only thing I did like about the show is at the beginning of the show, I did enjoy. They had the oil painting, and I loved that. I used to love watching that, and it was cool. And then at the end, he finished the little touches. Anyway, Family Ties didn't care for that. They brought that in, and then they had another up-and-coming show they brought in, which was Night Court. Night Court was another one they brought in at that time with the judge and the bull. He had the bull-headed with the grimace face, and he was heinous. But I guess it was a good show. I didn't really care for it too much. Night Court. That was their thing. In 84, 85, they started finding their stride. They hit big. Then they had the big show. They hit the Cosby's came in. Cosby were in there, so they had the massive lineup on Thursday. It was the Cosby, Family Ties, Cheers, Night Court, Hill Street Blues. Again, Hill Street Blues, never saw it. I wish I would have watched it, never saw it. I like the intro. It had it was gray, and then it went to blue. I think I can't remember
I
how the
don't,
intro
I don't
went.
think I've ever seen it.
And it was Carol Connor. Talked about this was in the heat of the night, and I like the shows that he used to do. Carol Connor. He was always played the good racist neighbor, which I just
Controversial,
racist, whatever you want to call him. Great show, man. All in the Family was good stuff. Anyway, so the primetime stuff was there. NBC was hitting on all cylinders there. They were getting after it. Cosby Show was a monster, man. It stayed big till like 90s. I think 1990 was it stayed number one the whole time.
I love that show, and I hate that it's not streaming anywhere anymore.
I guess you gotta get it on DVD or buy it on like I guess I don't know whatever like you buy it like a
Such
seasons.
iconic episodes, like
Yeah,
Rudy with the fish.
Rudy with the fish, like we were talking about. What's his name?
Theo.
Theo with the earring and trying to hide it from him. And like I said, I think it was Denise that made him make Theo like a custom shirt that was supposed to be like a fashion shirt, and it was all lopsided and shit. The collar was all big and shit. So, but I love that show, man. And like I said, it for all, not just black as all minorities could strive. Like, man, you can have a family that's successful. You can be famous. You can be successful people. You don't have to be just ordinary people. You can be a doctor, lawyer. But yeah, Cosby's were the best, man. Like I said, Rudy was the cutest thing in the world with her missing teeth and shit. She was great. I didn't like it when they brought in the other characters. Like, I think somebody moved in or something. This is towards the end of the show. I didn't care for it.
When the older daughter came back, Sandra,
I didn't care for her. Yeah,
they're twins or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
And throwback to last segment, I think, where we talked about Beauty Shop. Remember Rudy? She's in Beauty Shop.
Oh yeah, Rudy got real pretty as shit.
She's all grown up.
I remember there was this show. What was that? This magazine. Oh, what was that magazine called? I can't remember. It was an urban magazine, and it had shoes. Oh, so I think it was Slam magazine. Slam, and I think Rudy was on the cover of it, and she was dressed very provocative. If I can talk, she's very scantily clad.
Yeah, she was real scantily clad in Beauty Shop all the time too.
But yeah, she was on the cover. I think it was Slam magazine. I think that's what it was. And yeah, it was just seeing Rudy in a different light. I was like, man, it was uncomfortable. It was weird. It was weird. Rudy Huxtable. But yeah, she was.
Rudy.
Yeah, it was a little Rudy. And so yeah, they had that. They had Huxtables. The Cosbys were huge. Which then 96, 97, they started leading to the spinoff of Different World. And they also brought in L.A. Law, which was kind of a, I guess from like the Hill Street Blues vibe. People were digging the law enforcement thing, so they brought in L.A. Law kind of thing. Again, Different World was a spinoff. Again, love that show. That was another whole ball of wax that I got into, and then I just got me into the whole thing. Like I said, they got introduced you to like the black colleges, and which got me interested in knowing that I didn't know there was historical black colleges in the South. I didn't know that, and that put me in the direction to learn about those things, which is I like learning. Never stop learning. I enjoyed that, and then 90s, getting towards like early 90s, like 90. I don't know, it was like 91. Like the Simpsons Fox was dominating. Married with Children was on. Like I said, The Simpsons was huge, so they were kind of losing ground to those guys on Thursdays, or just in general, just in the rankings. And so in '89, they pulled out Seinfeld in 89, right? Okay, not 98, 89. They pulled out Seinfeld, and the first season didn't hit. Just like the first season of Cheers didn't hit, it didn't make it. But of course they brought it back, and it hit. And then they brought in, along with that, they brought in ER, and that was growing. And then early into the early 90s, they brought in, of course, everybody knows Friends came in, and that was a game changer. Friends was a game changer.
Best show ever.
Bullshit. So the early 90s that came in, and when Friends came in on November 3rd, NBC tried to do this thing, which was kind of cool. I thought it was a cool little gimmick they did. They did a Thursday night lineup, featured the Blackout Thursday. And what it was a programming stunt they did to it had three of the four big sitcoms they had in that time frame. Seinfeld didn't participate.
Of course they didn't. They're too pretentious to participate.
It's Seinfeld. Jerry was going to get involved now. He's got his own thing going on. He's got his own creativity to deal with. So they did the Blackout. They did the Blackout episodes, and so that was Mad About You was involved in it. Mad About You. Helen Hunt, supposedly she accidentally did a blackout by trying to steal cable. I think that was when she was trying to steal cable, and they had a blackout. Friends had Jennifer. I can leave this to you. Friends, they had the one with the blackout. It was the episode.
Yes, that's the one where Chandler was trapped in an ATM SMU with Jill Goodacre.
Yeah.
And nobody understood that but Joey.
Joey got it, though,
And
right?
if you didn't understand it, that's just too
Yeah.
bad. You don't get to know.
Yeah, but Joey understood what he was talking about. Seinfeld didn't participate in it, but that was a cool thing how they all lined up the episodes that made sense together. And they all made sense.
So if they were all in New York, I guess.
That was the point. Yeah, that was the whole point.
Should have
It's fine. It's fine. Jerry didn't even get lumped into the thing. But they did that, so it was cool. And then again in the '90s, they brought in, 90s came along and they started doing better. You had Will and Grace coming in. You had Caroline in the City. Suddenly Susan. I didn't get into that one. Mm-hmm. They also have Veronica's Closet and The Single Guy.
And that one, like Fresh Prince, that came in around that time. Because that was NBC also.
Yeah, it was NBC, but I don't know if it was Thursdays.
Oh, it might
was
not
Thursday
have been.
primetime. Yeah, it was
I don't
primetime.
think it was. I think it was like.
And that's why I say it was a little different.
Monday.
Yeah, so they had the primetime thing. Thursdays were getting huge for them. And like I said, they were calling it, at that time, I forgot to mention this, in that time, in 93, they started calling it Must-See TV. They shortened, instead of the long-ass slogan, they had it called Must-See TV. So they shortened it down. And that was cool. That stuck. That did well. So yeah, so the Thursdays were good. And then, what do you call it? Then they also had, those eventually started wearing on. It kind of fizzled out. And then later on, they brought in shows like The Apprentice, and that was huge because they did away with sitcoms, and they started bringing in reality TV because reality TV started coming in, thanks to the Kardashians, things like that. Those started kicking off, But so they had then you had Dateline and shit like that came in. But those NBC, the primetime thing was great for me. I used to enjoy those things. Thursdays were something to look forward to. It's just like now, you don't get excited about a certain day because now, like, we're getting ready to watch The Bear. It's getting ready to come out, and we're gonna probably, as soon as it comes out, we're probably gonna fly through all the episodes in one night. And that's the thing, is like nothing special no more. We're not waiting for nothing anymore. It's like The Bear's coming out, and we just started a thing with what was it, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, and I think we ran through that. It was like 7 or 8 episodes, and we busted through those real quick. It's just nothing. You don't have to wait anymore.
Hey, you still have to wait for Real Housewives, okay? And 90 Day Fiance.
90 Day Fiance. And
those are every Sunday, and I have to wait.
Yeah, those are. I would have to say those have become my guilty pleasures. Those, the 90 Day Fiance and the Housewives. I still gravitate toward the Housewives of Beverly Hills. I know you don't like them, but those are ones I still.
I'm all about the big hair in Jersey.
Yeah. We need to try some of the ones from like Atlanta. So we need to try some of them. Maybe there's more juicy drama and whatnot.
The Dubai looks pretty.
I'm sure they're fancy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just the thing where I miss those things of like, TV. And then later on down the road, they had My Name is Earl, The Office, things like that, and the 30 Rock. Was it 30 Rock? Yeah. 30 Rock. All those shows came along later, but CBS started killing it with like Survivor.
Big Brother.
Yeah, Big Brother and the CIS stuff. So they kind of lost their thing. And it was just, like I said, NBC was just, but the 80s, right in the middle of the 80s, they had the good things like the Hill Street Blues, Cosby's, these shows were just huge for NBC, and I just miss those shows, those simpler times, and Taxi's still going to be one of my favorite shows. Taxi will still be one, even though the seasons weren't long, and one of the most iconic intros ever is Taxi with the long shot, and you can tell where they clipped it, where they had to do it like 3 times, where they clipped it and clipped it and clipped it again to make it like the taxi was crossing the bridge. I think it was the Brooklyn Bridge, I believe, and they clipped it like 3 times to splice it together to make it seem like it was driving along.
You made me watch Taxi, and the only episode I remember is the one where Tom Selleck is in the cab with what's her name?
Yep, him and Nardo were locked in the cab.
That's the only one I remember because Tom Selleck.
And remember we looked at that, and I think we probably talked this about the show. They were both like early 30s.
Oh yeah,
and they both looked like they were old as shit. But it was just the time, the 80s.
People look older than.
Yeah, but yeah, that was just what I was just thinking about the other day. I was wondering, I want to look into this stuff and see what was primetime, what got it going, and what the name, like the slogan, Must-See TV. I wonder why. And that worked, like I said. But the other slogan, America's Best Night of Television on Television, that I'm glad they got rid of that. That was too much.
I want a shirt that says that.
I know, we need to do that. We need to make T-shirts and merch like that. But yeah, man, it's just Must-See TV was Thursday nights was my big thing, and then again, like I said earlier in the beginning, TGI Fridays was good too. But that wasn't. Those shows were fine. I just enjoyed NBC. They were more. I felt like they were more. I don't know. adult, maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
It's like a little more adult.
Yeah, because TGI Friday was like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
And Family Matters.
Family Matters, Step by Step.
Step by Step, Full
They
House.
were more, I think that's when Boy Meets World was on too, I think.
Oh, yeah?
I think.
Oh, okay. I thought that was on like Nickelodeon or some shit.
No.
Or Disney.
I think it went on Disney later, but I think
Initially?
it was. But no, it was definitely more for, because I think it was like, for the weekend for the kids. Kind of,
Right.
You're out of school, watch all these shows.
Yeah. But yeah, NBC, I love it. And then the NBC used to, I remember when they used to, the last thing to wrap this up, the last thing I think they used to have like the NBA Finals. And I always, back in 93, 92, when, Jordan was at his prime winning the first 3 championships, I used to love watching. They used to have that highlight when he used to do, anytime they introduced the NBA on NBC, it was Jordan and he was going to the hole on the Lakers and he does that thing and he brings it around like that. And that was always the highlight they showed at the beginning of the credits for the NBA Finals. And that's always ingrained in my brain. It's the best. Because that is the GOAT. And I don't care what LeBron says. He can F off. He's not the GOAT. Jordan's the GOAT. That's it. Other than that, keep listening to us. We still got things. Angel, like I said, I think Angel's got some stuff coming out. And if you hadn't seen it already, we put some stuff out with Vinny for Father's Day. Go back and check those things out. Just little short, bite-sized little content, fun things for everybody. But keep watching us and just stay tuned. Thank you.